Okay, I think more people will join us as we proceed with the session. So let's begin. Thank you everyone for coming to our latest Kumi Now online gathering. I'll make sure to put some links for everyone to access our Kumi Now website and Kumi Now YouTube channel where we put some of our past recordings. Um, Today, we have the pleasure of being joined by Hanna Tams, who will be speaking on dance and resistance and art. So I won't introduce him too much because he'll probably talk a little bit about his story as he begins his presentation. But Hanna is the artistic director, choreographer, and founder of Duban Professional Dance. And so he'll speak on this topic today. And before we start, I'd just like to remind you that um, we'll be recording the session, and Hanna will be speaking for about 30 minutes, but we'll have like a Q&A after. So if you have any questions, please put it in the chat, and I'll make sure to relay it to him. But Hanna, thank you so much for coming on the call. I know you already participate in a lot of Seville delegations, so thank you so much for taking the time to continue to speak with us and engage with us. We really look forward to hearing from you today.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. It's my second time in Kumi, and I'm really happy to see all of you people and see all of your love and your passion to know more about and to hear more about Palestine, and your support mean the word for us. So today I will be speaking about my role and about Duban's role and how art is kind of resisting at the moment, and how we are using art as a platform to raise our voices and to find a pathway or a way to resist through art. I don't know if you can just share, give me the ability to share so I can. Okay, perfect. So I will start with the idea of or our company. Our company is called Duban. It's the only company that focus on arts and especially on dance. And we use dance as a medium of a language that we use it to communicate with all the people around us in our community and also internationally and nationally. So we started as a small group. Duban started as a dancing group since 2012. We have only 16 dancers who were not trained at all. So we did a small audition and see who were passionate about dance and who was really interested in the Palestinian kind of relieving their emotions and coming from different backgrounds, and they wanted to put it in dance. So it started like that, and now Duban is around. We have now a dance company which is consists of 40 dancers. We try to provide them with support them and teach them through an academic dance education, and try to raise teachers from them as well as and dancers, as well as now we have a studio that contain more than 320 students in our studio only, and also we give or we provide dance services for more than 12 institutions in Jerusalem, which we serve around 1,700 students in East Jerusalem, West Bank, and 48 lands. And by our work, for us, Duban started as presenting high quality of visual art that tackle social issue faced by our community. And the main purpose of Duban was finding an infrastructure of the Palestinian, enhancing it through art, and founding a creative space that incubate artists within the community. And that's why our studio now is located in East Jerusalem, next to the wall exactly. So it's for us a safe space, but at the same time, it's not a safe space because we're exactly on the west on the separation wall. So there is a military force all the time throwing on us gas bombs and kind of interrogating students while getting in. But however, Duban, it's a creative space and safe space for all the kids who came here to relieve their emotions and to feel free with no idea or with no boundaries and no limits of of isolation or whatever. So we try to help the kids to find themselves and come again as a unified community through understanding their identity and why they are Palestinians, and what is the meaning to be yourself, or what the meaning to be Palestinian in this especially circumstances that we're serving through. These are small pictures of how the company works. So we work as different layers. We have the studio layer, which we teach kids from the age of 3 years old till the age of 60. And also we have a dance company that we perform. And usually the most way of we use performance, as I said, as a language. So most of our performance will be talking about social issues or political issues. We face it every day in our community, and we try to embody it through our bodies by using different elements and different music and different styles of dance. And Duban was able to produce around four productions. The first one was called Desert Dream, and it was a dream in a land that for many people it's a desert, but for us it's a green land. It's a really strong land that we need to protect and to enhance and to develop to be a better place. So we were tackling all the social issues we're facing every day in our community. The second performance was called Salal, and Salal was a performance that focused on how Jerusalem was during all the history was a place of it's a mosaic in itself. It has always contained people from all over the world that they came here as pilgrims or came here and stayed as here, such as the Armenian community, the Coptic community, and the African community, and as well as the Gypsy community who came here and stayed here, and how Jerusalem was embarrassing them and kind of protecting them and making them part of our identity, and how today, in the name of religion and the name of racist, we use this kind of different stuff and try to isolate each other and try to putting borders between people. So now, which I believe an issue that we started facing it lately in Jerusalem, that while teaching kids in schools, the kids were approaching me to know my name, so they can kind of understand from what is my background, if I'm Christian or I'm Muslim, or I'm rich or poor or whatever. So during touching these kind of issues, we starting talking it through dance and showing how Jerusalem in all of her history, it tried to embarrass and to hug all the communities who came and make them part of Palestine and part of its identity, and how now on the name of religion, we use it to isolate and kind of disconnect from our places. And I think the occupation play a main role in this and giving us this kind of mindset by isolating us so we can be more weak. The third performance was called uh, a hope, or there is still hope. It was kind of picturing pictures in old, as this one, in old kind of destroyed villages that was kind of destroyed in the 1948, and people start losing its memory or losing its name, because Israel is kind of brain cleansing us through kind of again isolating us or eliminating us from our history. So we started bringing back memories for people through going there and dancing and doing performances over there. As well as the last performance we did, it's called A Story of a Tree, which was a really special performance, which we documented a story of a woman's life in Palestine who lived the 1936 till 2022. And we documented all her life, and we pointed all her life out through dance by using dabka, which we did a kind of a deep research on dabka to understand how dabka evolved and how it was adapted during different periods of time, as well as we used the contemporary language to talk more about her personal life as a lady or as a woman in Jerusalem, and what she forced as a woman, because most of the history is talking about men, not women. So we wanted really to have something special, because we believe the Palestinian woman really resists in her own way, and that's why our folklore, or if we talk about or see the Palestinian folkloric elements, it always contain women and men are almost equal, which you can't find in other cultures, but in the Palestinian culture specifically. And this is because of the role of the woman during the 1948 and 1967. And we try to kind of embody this in performance. As well as art in Jerusalem, if I want to talk, it's really hard to be an artist in Jerusalem because your art is resisting, and the occupation know that, so they try to make your life so hard. Um, I am first of all, I'm a dancer, choreographer, and teacher. I do choreography because I'm passionate about. I can't live only by doing choreography over here because still dance is a secondary need, not a essential need, and hopefully people can appreciate it more slowly. And this is what part of our mission, that to change the community through dance and through art. However, I use teaching as way of communicating with the community and raising awareness, developing kids who have special needs, or kids who have kids in need who are living kind of hard life or Christ life in the moment. So I use dance to way of relieving them. So by doing that, I was called a terrorist because they believe that I use dance or I use dabka in a way that kind of I am putting in the heads of the kids terrorist ideas, which is really funny. However, I was taking into interrogation for 3 times, and they wanted me to stop teaching. However, I was lucky to have good people who supported me and supported my work, and they are till now supporting me. So I am in the middle between, on the line, as I said, not in the middle, on the line. Um, so so as I said, being in Jerusalem and doing arts is really hard. First of all, we're forcing so much pressure because the moment we do performances on theater, in any moment the theater may be closed because the military force will come and they will stop the performance for no reason. As well as teaching in Jerusalem, I need to go every day through being checked inside school and making sure that like students and me were not using terrorist music, which is Palestinian music or Dabka music. So we find alternative, me as Hanna. I started through my research and my master degree, I started understanding more why Dabka is important and why we do Dabka and what is the core of Dabka and how it was developed during periods. So it was my whole study was focused on the Palestinian dance and how it evolved during different histories. And through this kind of research, I developed this research into a dance curriculum that is taught in schools because at the moment the Palestinian schools are eliminated from teaching Palestinian history. So none of the East Jerusalem schools are able to teach Palestinian history or any material related to Palestine. Even putting Palestine name inside the class will be problematic. So in a way, just to make sure that Palestine idea and Palestine memory will keep in the kids and the coming generation, I developed a curriculum which I teach in schools. It's a dabke or the dance curriculum that I focus through it on Palestine and how Palestine evolved and what is the main core and what's the main or the bullet point of period of time and during history is important to talk about and how it influenced the dance itself. And also we developed games which called Ukaiti and Shatwiti, which is two games that can use in schools or can use in kids, which will kind of embarrass and also root the idea of symbols, Palestinian symbols inside the kids' minds. So you can see some of the games. Some of them work on elements and work on archaeological places, and also work on the flag. And also the other, which is more focusing on the dresses, the Palestinian dresses, and how it was. Symbolize for different things, and as well the Palestinian map and understanding the language or the name of the places that was exchanged or was changed by Israeli forces, such as Rishrash was changed to Eilat, or Tel Aviv. It was an Israeli name, which is the hills of the spring. It was coming from Beit Dajan in the name of the village. However, these kind of education points, even Palestinians nowadays, they don't know it, and this is really sad about it. And this is what is my main purpose, I believe, now, in raising awareness on these important things, so we don't ever forget. As well as we also work on another, because it's really hard to find support, because Israel is also cutting all the support that coming from outside to us, as well as forcing us to pay so much taxes on our place so we can close as they. However, in Jerusalem we had more than 6 dance companies. Now we are only the only remaining ones at the moment. The other 4 closed because of they went into debts and they weren't able to continue in the field. So to be able also to continue, we find an alternative way in supporting Palestinian ladies and also supporting artists through making Palestinian ladies embroidery for us different hoodies. As you see over here, each hoodie will have its own identity and will have kind of symbols and embroidery from different villages, and it will be combined in a unique way that each woman will do it in her own way, which is really important for us, first of all, to support these women and also to support creativity. Going into that, now we're going into new project, which is, however, we were focusing on East Jerusalem. Now we believe that we wanted to engage more with people and with kids, especially the kids who have really need dance, and they are not able to have anything else because they are living in really poor economic situation, as well as poor social situation, such as they don't have parents, they are orphanages, or they have a divorce case, or they have really problematic at their home. So now we're trying to find a new studio or a new hub that can support more kids in the West Bank in Beit Jala, which is a building from the 1918, sorry, which we will kind of convert it into a dance hub and also a museum and educational center that kind of bring Palestinian pieces that was found in the 1980s and 20s and put them in the museum and have a kind of storyline that we can teach kids not only through participating but also through seeing and through archiving, as well as other projects. We are having a project called the Indigo Heirloom, which is a page that we founded to raise awareness about Palestinian symbols and thobes and dabka. As well as we work now with special kids in need in the old city who are suffering economically or socially, or also being politically having political cases. So we use dance to way of relieving them and offer them new opportunities while working, as well as also we find another program that starting teaching teachers inside university, so we can provide more kids with more services. um, these are just links, I put them so you can know more about our work. um, I don't know if you have anything in specific you want to ask about, so I can be more, like answer. And if you have any question, I'm really ready to answer because it's really huge thing to talk about. I don't want you also to be bored. So if you have any question, please go ahead.
Thank you, Hanna. I'll give it a chance for everyone. If you want to put questions in the chat for Hanna to speak on, please let me know and I can relay it to him. If you want to get more also into um, just some of the challenges, maybe introducing dance to maybe kids who haven't experienced dance before. I'm curious, like, what the process is for that, or if you've encountered any challenges going to communities that are economically challenged, for example, or they're facing house demolitions or other forms of dispossession. What challenges have you faced in doing
Definitely.
working with dance?
So Jerusalem itself or Palestine itself, it's really diverse. Yes, boys do join. So it's really diverse, and it depends on the location or where you're working with. Because if you just go 1 or 2 kilos away from somewhere, you will have another problem to deal with. So the challenge is first of all to find a safe space to teach, because all the spaces, if you look at the old city itself, the old city, all the kids, they don't have, every kid have less than 50 centimeters to play. You can imagine that kids who are living in East Jerusalem, they have really no place to play. The only place they have is streets, which is full of weaponized settlers and weaponized military, who they will see them every day. And also you will find also drug users, which is a not safe space at all. So it's a really problematic if you were talking about the old city itself. And also the old city itself, the people or the parents over there, they are really uh, having many issues. So their kids is not one of their issues. So usually kids will be left because the occupation, the economical level that they are living in. So most of them, they are working 2 or 3 jobs just to be able to live. So most of the time the kids will be in the streets and they won't have any opportunity to do anything. So working with these kids, you need to start in a way to give them love rather than dance. And while doing that, you start to understanding their issues. So you're not anymore a teacher. You're also a psychological person who are you're dealing with and you're trying to help them. So dance become more as a therapy, or the teacher come more as a therapist to know more and engage more in their life. And also the moment you engage more in their life, you have more responsibilities rather than being a teacher. So it's a really special thing, but you always need to be in the mood. You always need to be ready to deal with any circumstances that happen inside class. This is one of the things, as well as always supporting them because they are not always motivated because the hard life they are dealing with. So you always need to motivate them with nice words because this kind of love and softness and motivation, they don't feel it at home. So you need to do that for them in addition to make them love dancing, because however in Palestine, dabka is part of our folklore, so it's nothing boys and girls. More all people will do dabka, and people love dabka over here because it's, as I said, it's the dabka was transferred more to be rather than being a dance to being a resistant voice. So we do dabka in weddings, we do dabka in checkpoints, we do dabka everywhere because for us it's the sound of resistance and that we're there. So it's easy to teach dabka, but the moment you want to relieve a pain inside kid, you need to go more into contemporary dance. And this is, you need to have many layers to work in to convince them and also to make them understand what's the importance of dance. And dance is not for only girls, and also to kind of to raise awareness for the parents that you're dealing with. So it's another issue that we're working off. However, in the Beth Hanina, where we are now located, which is next to the Western Wall, our challenges is hope like making sure that we are continue because every day we have more than 3 tear gas that is thrown on the door of our studio. And at the moment even the kids, they are resisted, they just keep dancing. They are not in a way that they are smelling it and they are fine, which is horrible, like to be able to adapt to this kind of thing and find it that is normal, which is not normal, but you need to normalize it so you just keep living. So the idea for us is providing or making sure that these kids are always having a safe space or a safe hug, that whenever it's happening you're there for them, and to always come to the studio and feel safe. This is the another purpose we are fighting. And at the same time in Beth Hanina, because people have different mindsets, so we are also working on the idea of motivating boys to dance, because at the moment boys are more interested in something else rather than dancing. So now we're trying to resist and to raise awareness about the importance for them on dancing, because many boys come for us that they are really enjoying, and girls that they are really enjoying dance, but at a certain point of their life or certain age they start cutting because of the parents pressure, or the like you need to study more or whatever. They don't understand or appreciate the dance um, what really dance do for them, or what really art do for them. So I think it's changing slowly, because I said before we started only as a 16 dancer. Now we are more than 40 in the company and 300 in the studio. So you can see the change, but it's a long process thing to deal. And if you look in the other places as well, like from my generation, my challenge was not finding a Palestinian place that I can go there and have high quality of dance, so I can be, or I can have a career dance. Because growing up in East Jerusalem, first of all, it was, I'm coming from a political family. My grandfather was a Merit. He was shot by the Israeli military force in the 1973. And also, my father was in prison, my uncle was in prison, and my other uncle was wanted for 16 years. So, and my grandfather and my grandmother raised seven kids by her own because her husband was killed. So, growing up in this kind of political kind of situation and trying to find my own way and my own identity through resisting was dance, because for me dance was the only way that I can raise my voice. It was the only way I can communicate really with the word. I'm not really good in language, but for me the only way, or the easy way to identify myself, was through just moving. And this is what make me really connect to my body and understand that this shape, which in Palestine, or in the Dabka, in the Palestinian Dabka before the 1967, was representing, what do you think it can represent in the Palestinian history? Any gesture, any symbol, anything in your mind? Mm. No. It was representing orange or pomegranate, because for Palestinians, pomegranate was the thing of fertility, and oranges was one of the main important things that we use in Palestine. However, this gesture in Dabka after the 1967 was developed into stone. So now we raise our hands through this, and you can see how history really reflects. And this is make me really understanding more my body and my identity and how my body moves, because I wasn't always aware of how I move. So it was really interesting for me to understand this and to study this through my master degree, because I do Dabka all my years, but I never understand how it transformed really, and how also all the body really changed. Like before we have this kind of nice, elegant Dabka dancers who have their shoulders open and really nice, because it was kind of, we call it the Dabka, the Lebanese Dabka, or the influence of the Bolshoi in Dabka. Because the Lebanese Dabka was developed in the 1948, and they bring the Bolshoi element through Dabka. So they have really nice lines and nice body and nice alignments. But however, the Palestinian Dabka today, it's more grounded, it's more ruler, it's more as a warrior, as I'm throwing a stone. So it's always about hiding and throwing. So how all of these gestures really developed was amazing for me. And it made me really understand from where I come from and what's my identity. So yeah, so I'm really happy for the kids today to find at least a place that they can dance in, because in my generation it was not accessible. However, the only accessible place was to go in the Israeli, which you will be dancing Israeli pieces, and which for me was cutting me from my roots, and it was really sad.
You mentioned a little bit, Hanna, about contemporary dance. So I wonder how you, in your, studio, how you kind of incorporate elements of contemporary dance, and how does that relate also to Dabka, and kind of, the different ways, like how does different forms of dancing cue different parts, of what you're trying to do. Yeah.
Perfect. So just to give an idea, our studio is not a Dabka studio only. We have a Dabka curriculum, which we are the only place that provide kids with a Dabka curriculum, which is not only practical, but only theoretical. But also we have flamenco classes or flamenco program. We have a ballet program, Chiquetti ballet program. We have contemporary. We have Horton, Graham, and Limon contemporary or modern dance. We have hip hop with all the layers, which is break dance, popping, whacking, whatever. and also we have tap dance and we have jazz. So we have a combination of everything. The student can choose whatever style they like and they can join. However, for me, contemporary is part of every dance because as we said, or as we all know, folklore, it's a kind of, it has two nature. It has dynamic nature and it has a fixed nature. The dynamic need to be relevant to the daily base that we are living in today. I can do something and call it folklore that was like 60 or 100 years old because we don't know anything about this period of time. I can like I can't imagine dabka that was maybe in the second century or the 18th century or the 17th century. We don't have any recording for that because people were communicating through word of mouth. So I can understand what is the main concept or the main idea of how they were doing dabka, which was agricultural dabka or ritual dabka, because they were using dabka in communicating with God through praying. We have a music that we call it the rain of, or the pray of the rain, that they were dancing for God before to bring rain for Palestine. So, however, all of these kind of dances were eliminated from the culture slowly, 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 because we have many, the coming religion, extremist religion that was coming in the country was kind of eliminating all these kind of parts of folklore. However, our folklore is indeed coming from agricultural, but as I said, I believe in also what the kids need today. We need to do music, we need to dance, something that is related to their daily base. So for me, putting contemporary in Dabka is an essential thing to make Dabka continue, not stop. Because if it stop developing, it won't be relevant for the coming generations or the generation that is today. And this is one of the most important fight we are fighting now in Palestine, because some people wanted to keep it as preserve it in a way that it's not developed. So the music is really slow. It's not relevant to the world we're living in today. And we have also the people who they want to support Dabka and to develop Dabka, which is still keep it in its core, but still make it more adjustable to the generation that is coming today, because I know the mindset of the people who want to preserve, because everything was stolen from us by Israel. Our food, our dresses, our culture, and also the dabka was taken from us, which is in Guinness, the longest dabka dance was recorded for Israel, which is a really pity. But also, like, I know if we want to prevent it, we need to make the generations adapt it and have it and be part of their life. So for me, also making dabka relevant, it's really an important thing to keep it alive. And as well, for me, contemporary is a language. So usually we use contemporary, which is a Western language, to talk about Palestinian issues. So we have many pieces that talk about what we're suffering today, what's our circumstances, how we are living, what is the issues we are facing every day. So we use contemporary as a place to relieve our emotions, relieve our energies, and also identify ourselves and identify our stories for audience who can understand this language.
Thank you, Hanna. Before Judith, I saw your hand up, but let me just make sure some of the other questions are answered. Someone asked, you mentioned, you did a master's program also, but what kind of training have you and other teachers in the program received to kind of serve that psychological role as, support person, also while you're teaching dance, you're also supporting the community and being there emotionally and socially for the community. So, I think someone was just curious about,
No, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, so to be honest, coming from a place that I was always not having the right place or the safe space to teach, I take a promise on myself that all the teachers are working with me and in the studio need to be trained teacher and need to have certifications. Even sometimes I don't believe in certification, especially in dance, because experience is really important. But I take a promise that I want to have a certified teacher who hold certification, because in Palestine we never had that. And for us, anyone who take a small course in dance can teach. And this is what make even me, part of my generations who wanted to dance, make us horrible dancers at the beginning, because we didn't do it the right way and we didn't do it the safe way and we didn't connect to our bodies. And this take me so much time to correct myself and to be accepted in international programs. So most of the teachers in here are kind of having certifications from different universities around the world and locally. And also they are through being employed in our studio or in our programs, they need to have training every year, and these trainings will focus about psychological programs and also developing artistic programs to understand how I can develop the art to make more as a way to communicate with kids, not only teach, because for us teaching is not about that we want to turn one person for a great dancer. It is part of our core, but if we want to turn him in a better person first, and better artist, and better Palestinian, to understand more about his society, to care about his society, to develop his society, develop himself, and then develop his art industry and be one of the amazing dancers. And this is what we can see, because most of the kids that we teach at the moment, they are influencing their classmates in the schools about Palestinian issues, about the things that they are dancing every day, about why we dance, what the idea of passion, what's the idea of being Palestinian and living in this ideology place, what's the idea of being born in Jerusalem itself. So all of these kind of issues, what's the idea of boycott, all of these kind of like elements that is kind of coming in our daily life and we are talking about, but many Palestinians don't understand. We say let's boycott, but we don't understand the core part of the boycott, because before like blaming occupation or before blaming anything, we need to first blame ourselves, because I believe as a Palestinian the most important thing we need to support at the moment is our unity, because at the moment, as I said, we're dissolved community. Even between Christians itself, you will find many separated pieces. The Orthodox, the Orthodox Catholic, or whatever, the Syrian, all of these communities are kind of dissolved, and this is something that Israel was playing on it from the moment they came on this land. And we fought it, we just went with it, which is really horrible. So we need to have more aware about this kind of issue, because it's rising more and more and more and more. And when we contain this and we have this, then we need to start fighting more for our rights as a one community, not the right for my personal needs only. Because I believe we rise as a community. Palestine was always one community, one head as a pomegranate. And this is our folklore really eliminated, and not eliminated, projected in all the scenes of art. In the thobe, which is the woman dress, they were always embroidering pomegranates, which is the representing of unity, and as well as the fertility. And we need to be as many seeds, many different, but still one. So yeah.
I see, Judith, you put your question in the chat, so I don't know if you want to say your question or if you have something else to add to the question. So let me know if you want me to just read the question from the chat. I'm not sure if
There is a question about Dabka, which
yeah,
is
yeah, that was the
yeah.
question.
So yeah,
About
definitely. So Dabka, I was talking to Sana, right?
Tanya.
Tanya, yeah, I was talking to Tanya about the subject that we're talking about, and because it's really huge, like if I want to talk about Dabka now, I have a program that also Sabil's, we provide Sabil with service when people come here. We give them a session about how Dabka evolved, or Palestinian history through Dabka. So if we want to talk about Dabka, it's really huge subject, but definitely there is a really difference between Lebanese, Syrian, Jordan Dabka, and Palestinian. However, they all come from the same core, which, as you know, Palestine before was part of the Great Syria area. So we all form the same identity, we all form the same needs, because Dabka was made for a need. It's not a national dance. I don't know if you know that. And Dabka started, or they do it, because usually we have something in our culture called el-una. El-una, if we directly translate it, it will be the support. So usually when anyone will build a house, to be able to do the cement in this form, they need to bring soil and water together, and they need to mix it to find the mud. And this mud will be taking so much time to do. So usually all the village will come help this neighbor who is building his house. They will have shoulder on shoulder, which we call it al-una, having shoulder on shoulder, and they will start stomping on the soil and water, mix it together to make this mud. And by forming the mud, they will start building the house. So Dabka started from there. So they have a nice time. They will bring someone to play the flute and someone that sing, and they will spending so much time having fun by stomping and finding this kind of rhythm on the mud. As well for ladies, the Dabka was developed from squeezing the grapes to do wine and to do juice. So it was the idea of they will throw the grapes inside a full circle and the olive oil, and they will start stomping on them to squeeze. And all of these kind of things made the dabka. And as we know, the Great Syria area was an agricultural area. So the dabka started from there as agricultural background. However, during the 1948, the pan-Arab movement, they said, okay, now we have many Palestinians who lost their houses and they were replaced in Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and also elsewhere, and they were in Palestinian exile. So to be able to combine all the Arabs and all the Palestinians all over the world to be feeling as home, we need to find a language, or we need to find something that really combines all the Palestinians and all the Arabs. So they find we call it today the Lebanese dabka, which is one of the main products for the Pan-Arab movement is Baalbek Festival. I don't know if you heard about that. It's a huge festival that happened in Lebanon, that they will bring main amazing artists such as Fairuz, Sabah, Shamsi Nasruddin, all of these people, and they will make them do dabka music and bring dabka groups that they will be dancing dabka. And this dabka was influenced by the Bolshoi, because the one who kind of make it into curriculum was Widat Haddad Hajjar. She's a Palestinian, but she studied dance in Bolshoi. So the moment the Palestinian, the Arab movement asked her to do this kind of combination, she bring the Western influence. So if you look at the Lebanese dabka, they start with the right leg, not left leg. So the right leg is the main thing. They use it in the Western, in any style of dance, usually. Also, as I said before, the form of dabka, you will find this elegant look, having long shoulders, hand in hand, really nice and really elegant and really soft dabka. However, in the 1967, as you know, there is the Naksa happening. All the Arab visitors was eliminated from coming to Palestine. So then here the Palestinian said, okay, now it's our role to do something, to stand, to resist. And here was we call it the birth of the Palestinian identity in Dabka, only in the 1967, not before. And everything was changed. So whatever is called Lebanese, they do the opposite. So they started with right, the Palestinian dabka started with left. They were really elegant, they were more into ruler dabka. They were really high, it was an opposition relationship with the floor, which they were jumping. The Palestinian dabka is grounded. So they did exactly whatever the Lebanese dabka is, they shifted and make it opposite. And also during, I don't know if you know Intifada, which is 2000, whatever happened here, the Intifada or the Revolution of the Stone, all the dabka symbols that was in the Palestinian heritage changed. So as I said, the pomegranate transfer into a stone. The leap of the stomp on the ground, which represent the mud, mixing the mud and mixing the soil and water. Now it reformed that this is my land, don't come here. So every meaning of the movement was kind of reformed and re-put in a new way. So the Palestinian dabka is really different from other dabka because it has more core and more resilient base.
Thank you, Hanna. That was a great overview of the history and helping us understand that. Trying to see if there's other questions. I think someone asked, if there's actually a website to Duban, your dance company, or if
We
there's a way
had
to also
we had one, but the occupation cut it, and we're not allowed to have any more one. So we have an Instagram page and we have a Facebook page, but also the Facebook page they cut it 3-4 times. So once you see it, once you would not see it. I don't know. It depends, but because we are publishing ideas and we're publishing news about Palestine or about kids and about whatever, they see it as a terrorist act. So so as I said, the website is down. We don't have any access on anymore on it, but we have an Instagram page and we have also a page which raise awareness about Palestinian culture. As I said, it's Indigo Heirloom. It's on Instagram, and as well as we have Duban Professional Dance page on Instagram and on Facebook.
Mhm. Awesome. Is there any way we can, like, in the international community, can support the one, like, via donating or anything?
Definitely, definitely there is. Again, another, as I said, living in Jerusalem is another level. Our bank account was also shut it down. So now we're working on a personal account, which is the art director of the school over here, have his personal account, which have part of it for Duban. And it's working, this bank account is only for Duban. So we're using his account because we are now abandoned of using our bank account because they think we're cleaning money and send it for terrorist people. So this is the way that they are making sure that all the dance community or all the art community in Jerusalem are closed in a way, as well as we have a project with the EU. It was cutted after the war because they think that our money, which or our money that we took from the EU, is going to support terrorist things. So, and this project was to help the people in the old city to find a safe space that they can come, they can run away from home and have a safe space to play and to do dance classes inside this place. But now the project is postponed till they give us any hope, any new hope. I hope we can do it now. I'm doing it personally from my own love. I go there, I do classes twice a week with the kids from my own belief that it's really helping. And these people are really special because they are the most amazing classes I do in Jerusalem. The amount of energy, the amount of happiness, the amount of appreciation that come from from these kids, for me mean the words for me. So yeah, so it's really important just to keep doing it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about the postponement of the project, but I hope, there's ways we can continue to support you, whether through delegations, coming to visit, or other ways.
Definitely.
Maybe to end the session, some people have requested you share maybe a video of some of the dances
Sure.
that you do. So I don't know if that's something you could possibly do for us. We can see.
Okay, just one moment. Let me. So first of all, I will share with you a video that just show you Jerusalem from a new eye, let's say. Let me see. Okay, I will share my screen. Sorry for that.
أنا الآن في المنتصف وليس أحد. أنا سأكمل ما ابتدأ. منتصف الكون بيت الله وسط الأرض. كل الكون كل الأرض تحيا بقصة خضراء من الأرض تمتد من الشرق إلى الغرب وتسكنها الأفراح والأعراس والناس عندي من كل جنس ولون. حبهم لي هو ما يجمعهم ويعملون على ديمومتي ليحتفظوا لأجيال بعدهم تراثا لا يبدل بالأنفس. أنا التي يريدني الجميع.
Hanna, we're not seeing the video.
أنا
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was just a black screen.
Now you can see or no?
We can see it now. Yeah.
كل الكون.
Sorry.
أنا الآن في المنتصف وليس أحد. أنا سأكمل ما ابتدأ. منتصف الكون بيت الله وسط الأرض. كل الكون، كل الأرض تحيا بقصة خضراء من الأرض تمتد من الشرق إلى الغرب وتسكنها الأفراح والأعراس والناس عندي من كل جنس ولون. حبهم لي هو ما يجمعهم ويعملون على ديمومتي ليحتفظوا لأجيالا بعدهم تراثا لا يبدل بالأنفس. أنا التي يريدني الجميع ليخذلني الجميع. أنا القدس.
هنا صمال وهنا ذبان. اهلا وسهلا بكم. هدول اولادكم، هدول بناتكم، هدول اولادكم.
I'm showing you several parts and put one last one. This is from our new performances.
משתתפים בפעילות מקטרד צ'מפיונס ויכולים לזכות ב10.
Yeah, this is basically some of the stuff. I can send you as well more. There are many also about our students and stuff. I showed you part of the company work that we do. And as I said, it's a mix of many things. It's not only Dabka or only contemporary. It's mix of many cultures because we believe in making a language that everyone can feel related to and can understand it in a way.
Thank you so much, Hanna. And for showing us the videos. And it's on your YouTube channel, I believe, right?
Yes, yeah. You
Okay,
will see many things over there.
Okay, amazing. So we're running short on time, so I just want to make sure, like, is there like any last thing you want to say to the audience and to anyone else watching after to us?
Uh, First of all, I want to thank everyone that are with us, and also thanks Sabil for always being creative and innovative and pioneer in this kind of thing and bringing people together and raise the Palestinian voice. And yeah, I want to thank you, all of you, again, and keep fighting. For me, as I said, dance is a for me, I always say it that I don't dance because I love dancing. I dance because I have a I have a connection and a meaning for dancing, because I believe if I'm not born in Palestine, I would never dance or choreograph, because for me dance for me was always communicating and resisting. It's the only way that I know how to resist and how to bring out myself and feel connected to Palestine. So just keep really this kind of passion and keep believing and fighting for what you like and what you feel it's right. And yeah, that's the only thing.
Thank you, Hanna. And thank you so much for taking the time to share with us your story and um, Duban and your work. It's so important and so needed, and we hope Sabir will see you soon. If not this month again, then another time. And yeah, thank you. We'll have maybe the next few minutes as Hannah, you can feel free to leave if you need to. I know it's evening time there. So we'll probably engage in some actions a little bit. So we'll be doing that. So if you have, and also Hannah, if you want to put your contact information down, if anyone wants to reach you in terms of
Sure.
donating or something like this, that would be great. So thank you.
Thank you again.
Okay, so as Hanna puts his contact info in the chat, I just want to turn to some quick actions. We don't have much time today to do it, so I'll just share a few things we wanted to make note of. The first thing is, as I think many of you have been following the news with Gaza Freedom Flotilla, that they almost reached Gaza, and then a number of them were actually kidnapped and by Hannah, thank you, and detained currently inside Israel, and then a few others were deported. And so the Gaza, if you want to follow Gaza Freedom Flotilla, they actually have a website um, to talk about this and kind of cover what happened in the last few days. And there is a petition going out, and I'll send the link here, where you can actually use to contact some of your representatives to protect the civilian activists on board. And I think also while this was happening, Israel continued to kill Palestinians in Gaza who were waiting at aid sites and other locations. So it's also important to continue to contact representatives and attend protests and actions in your community regarding this. So that's just one action I want to share today. We have a number of other actions. I'll put some petition links perhaps in the comments. And if anyone else has actions that are happening in their communities, feel free to put it in the chat. And I'll make sure to relay it as we leave, or put it in our website for next time. Yeah, thank you, Kathy. This is also one of the links you can sign in terms of the Gaza Freedom Flotilla.